we're Clayton and Caroline Rothschild. We actually grew up at Second. We spent the last almost 15 years in Texas and came back about a year and a half ago. We have 3 kids who are all 4 years old and younger, and they just seem to keep coming. So it's been really interesting. That's why we actually had to move back to get closer to family.
My family actually came to Second for the children's ministry. My sister was about 5 years older, and they knew coming up into youth group that Second really valued children and the youth, and so they came for that reason, and I'm really thankful they did.
We met in youth group actually, and Caroline was kind of Susie youth group, I would call her. She was involved in everything that you could be involved in. She would
Did I
play,
peak in high school?
She would play the keys, for the band, the praise band. She would lead Bible studies. She was always there.
When we were in youth group were the days that we would get on a bus outside the trailers in the back, drive to another church down the road, and then do youth group and come back because there wasn't enough space in the building for us. And I just remember there's so much excitement of we are going to have a youth room. It's going to be in the basement. And it was just a super exciting time for the church because we were going to use that space, and we did. Yeah, and we were loud, but we were in the basement. It was fun. And even now, some of the same youth group leaders I grew up who shaped me are now working in Tiny Town, shaping my kids. So Second has always held this very dear place in our heart. We moved to Houston right out of undergrad. We didn't have that. And we also didn't have family in town. And so we dove into our church community. Like when you're desperate for friends and family and help and a place of belonging, community and church is, where that's found.
So being at this community church in this urban environment in Houston, full of young people, taught us a lot about community. But as we entered into new stages of life, such as having kids, we had to, adjust and move home. Leaving that community was actually very difficult for us. We actually stayed in Houston for about 3 years or 5 years longer than we otherwise would have because of this community of people. So we said, well, let's get home, but let's take our understanding of church with us and bring it to wherever we land.
When we came to Springfield and started visiting Second, the thing that jumped out to us was Tiny Town. So we have 3 boys, and Tiny Town knew their names. They knew our names. And before we ever connected anywhere in the church, we connected in Tiny Town because we love our boys. I love being a mom. It is so hard. But when you walk into Tiny Town, it's like you almost gird up together of like, hey, we're parents and we're doing this. And we have those ministry leaders like cheering for us. So that is what helped us stay at Second, even though there wasn't a lot of people our age. There weren't a lot of other young families when we first came 2 years ago.
We arrive at Second Baptist and we say, well, what's one thing that we can bring here? And I think it was this idea and concept of community. Being in Springfield now is different. We have family here to support us. We don't need to cling to our church the way we had to in Houston, but wow, what rich living it is if we do that regardless. One of the things we always say is that church is a people to belong to, not a place to attend. And so we're trying to take that mindset of not just being a consumer of church and, well, Tiny Town's great, so I guess I'll come here, and oh, the facilities are decent, I guess I'll come here, but really saying, who are these people? And let's love these people and build something with these people.
So we had this idea of, what if we had a class? We actually told Mike and Stephanie when we were brainstorming about it that we'll sit in an empty classroom, and if no one comes, it's okay. It'll be a date for us. But let's do it on Wednesday nights and see if anyone comes. And all of a sudden, all those people I was bumping into at Tiny Town, I'd say, hey, we're gonna do a class. And they're like, yes, we want this, we need this. And the first week, it was incredible. Everyone we invited said yes. And it's been the biggest blessing to us. And we're making that community that is what the church is.
What we would like to see, I think, be built in this next season at Second are facilities that are welcoming to people no matter what stage of life they're in. I want a place that my children love coming to and also my children's grandparents love coming to.
Yeah, and I think going back to that experience in high school of getting on the bus and going down the street to another church, and the walls were blank, but the youth group thrived. But then we moved into the basement And it was incredible. And it just brought so much energy to the people that were already thriving. And I'm so excited for what new space is going to do for the young families in our church. Because the investment in a facility is an investment in people. And we have the people who are investing in their families. What does it look like to come alongside them and say, we're valuing the same things you're trying to do in your individual family. Let's do it as a church family.
What I would like to see about Second is that people aren't just here for 5 years or 10 years. Second isn't just a part of their life for a certain season. I want people to be at Second Baptist for 50 years. And we want to be here when we are grandparents ourselves. We want this to be a generational church for our family. And I think going through this kind of process is necessary so that they can be here for 50 years. No matter what stage of life they're in, the space will be accommodating to that stage of life for them.
It's going to be awesome.